All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Who's Right podcast. I'm going solo today. No Victor with me today. A late night. With the Mother's Day. Him making his rounds. He's with his in-laws, and wanted to come on, but not coming on today. But before we get started, hey, hit subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Let me know your comments. But let's get into it because there's really not a lot to get into. Let's review the series. Friday night, we have Charlie Morton doing his thing. He's always been a Met killer. He does his thing against the Mets, and guess what? Our bats don't do much on Friday. There's not much to it. They win 4-2, but for the most part, our bats have been silent. We get a little life from Alonso on Friday, but there's not much to it. So Charlie Morton got the better of us. He went seven strong, and there's not much to say. The bats aren't producing, and it's going to be a theme of the series, or actually a theme for the last month or so. That the bats aren't producing, and so let's move on to the Christian Scott game. Obviously, it was going to be a tough game because we're going against Max Fried, and Max Fried has been lights out, right? He continued to be lights out, and but in a weird way. To be honest with you, he was lights out in a weird way, just because we threatened a lot in the game, but got no hit until JD's home run in the ninth. And so it's just a weird game. How do you threaten a few times? Get a guy to second, and then proceed not to get a hit. It's just a microcosm of what's happened all year. We get a decent start from Christian Scott, and on his second outing, he comes and faces the Braves, and he got hit by Arcia, and that's all she wrote, right? And our bats again don't do anything. I know we were being no hit, but it's just a weird way of being no hit when you get guys multiple times to second base, and just don't do anything, and don't get a clutch hit. Marte has looked horrible, for a few, a couple weeks now, and and especially looked horrible today. On yesterday, he came up with a couple opportunities, and just didn't have it. We're now 0-4 with the City Connect uniforms or something like that, or winless. We're at least winless with the City Connect uniforms, whatever number it is. And so just at this point, leave it for Saturdays, and stop wearing it during the week. As nice as they are, they're not working for us right now. And then coming into today, we're um, um, facing Bryce Elder. You know, he's a call up, right? He wasn't he's in there because of the injuries to Strider, um, and um, and he looked like an ace. We made him look like an ace. I know we got the walk off win today with Brandon Nimmo, and luckily, the scare of not having Brandon Nimmo, kind of subsided because he came into the game and won the game for us. But again, this team it just doesn't hit at no clutch hitting. Today um, one of the questionable calls that I have for Mendy is batting for Beatty. I understand that McNeil got the clutch bunt single in the ninth, but it was a bunt single. It wasn't like he was producing all weekend long. He finally got on base because of the bunt single, and but at the end of the day, you bat for Beatty. You don't bat for McNeil. You bat for Beatty, and you get Joey Wendell batting. And then we get Zach Short killing us. The guy that I thought we should have kept instead of Wendell because he was right-handed bat. So it's like it just comes back to bite you a little bit. And I'm here rambling and going nuts because even though we salvaged the game today, it's still frustrating, to be honest with you. I mean I am happy we won the game today. I'm glad we salvaged the game today, but we made Bryce Elder look like an ace. You know what I mean? And we just can't have that. I was talking to Brandon earlier today. You all know him, the Braves fan, and he thought Elder was gonna get rocked today. You know what I mean? And for us to come out and just I don't know, man. Just like I said, make him look like an ace. I guess I'm not as happy as I should be with the Nimmo walk off. Because I was already heated. Going into the ninth, and I guess I still haven't come down from that. Because these bats are killing me. I'm not upset that we're a 500 team. I'm upset that our bats, who we thought were going to carry us, haven't done anything yet. And who knows if they're going to do anything. Alonso had a good series, and so I am happy about that. But we need some consistent hitting, and luckily, Nimmo didn't get injured, and whatever he was dealing with was just needing a little bit of rest because we can't afford to lose Nimmo right now. We're a team that doesn't have a lot of hitting, and one of the only guys that's hitting is Nimmo. So we can't afford losing Nimmo. It's just one of those things. I would say the so let's move on to the outstanding. Because I could go on and on about this hitting. I forget who tweeted it out. Before we move on, let me just get this tweet out really quick. Um, who tweeted it out? It's great radio right here. Um, where is it? Well, the point is that there was so much. Um, the bats have been so quiet since April 21st. I think the most that we see as a batting average or OPS and all of the above was from JD Martinez. He's the only one that has a batting average and OPS that's acceptable. Um, and everybody else is under 250 and OPS in the 600s. And we just can't continue to be doing that. We can't continue to just think that these backs are going to wake up and and to finally produce because this is I don't know. I'm ready for Acuna to come up and replace McNeil. But Michael Barron was the one that tweeted it out. JD Martinez 267 and OPS 378. Sure. Well, let me take that back. You know what I'm saying? I misspoke a little bit earlier. So it's just horrible. You know, man, the highest OPS is from Brandon Nimmo, and it's just I jumped into the concerns because I'm just so frustrated. You know what I mean? I am just tired of not seeing um, quality at bats on a batter to batter basis. You know what I mean? I don't expect everyone to produce at every moment, but this inept offense is just killing me, right? The batter of the game of the series, I would say, was Alonso. He had a decent series because there's not much to say, right? Obviously, Nimmo won it for us today, but Alonso had a good game as well today and on Friday, and so we're going to give the bat of the series from the Mets to Alonso. My concerns. I've been ranting and raving about my concerns already. This offense. Acuna's getting hot down in AAA, and we need a spark. I think because Joey Wendell's not gonna be playing. I honestly don't understand. Uh, you know, I know. Actually, I do understand. We kept him because of the contract we gave him. Because he's not much better than Zach Short. And Zach Short, the only thing argument for having Zach Short on the roster was his right-handed bat versus um, you know um, having Joey Wendell. Because, for example, today we had Tyrone Taylor bat for him, and then replace Tyrone Taylor with Joey Wendell. We kill two spots right there, two batters in a game um, for one, just because we didn't have a right-handed bat on the bench, right? And I'm not saying Zach Short's anything to write home about. I'm not saying that Zach Short is better than Tyrone Taylor. I'm just saying that we wasted two bats for one pinch hit because we didn't have a right-handed bat for Joe for Beatty. But I guess the other slip up that I just had it was Bader. What has he done since that article? He's been starting. And again, there's no bats, right? This is what sucks about Gilbert being hurt is that nobody's ready to come up. I know Ramirez is doing well in Binghamton, but I don't think the Mets are ready. I don't think he's ready to come up yet. Even though he's on the 40 man. So we're running with Taylor and Bader, but Bader's not doing a lot. You know, I mean, I can go up and down this lineup. Um, you know, Nimmo, he's doing well, up and down, but he's doing well. Marte's not done well in the last few weeks. Lindor, not consistent enough yet, but I think he's about to warm up. Alonzo, hopefully this is the series that he breaks out. We'll see. Now we're going to go into playing Philly this week, and we'll see if he finally breaks out. It'll be great because he loves playing in Philadelphia as well. He loves playing in that stadium. So that home and home series with Philadelphia. Hopefully he continues this ride. And Martinez had his first home run as a Met yesterday with the Christian Scott game, breaking up the no hitter. Really appreciate that because I would have been livid with if that didn't happen. But he's still rounding into form. He's still getting into playing shape. At this point, you can't harp on anymore on the fact that he didn't have the spring training. That's over and done with. But he's still rounding into form because he didn't have spring training. So it's just frustrating. Beatty, I just think that he's just he'll be fine. He might not be fine this year. Like we mentioned in the previous podcast, it might be that Alec Bohm kind of effect where, he's still trying to figure it out, and then he turns into a decent player. And so I'm okay. At the end of the day, we don't have Mauricio to challenge him. They don't want Vientos to challenge him because Vientos is defense. So it's Beatty's job to lose for the season. So I just say leave him alone. Leave him in the spot in the lineup. I would say leave him where he's at right now, number 6, and just run with it. You know what I mean? And leave McNeil down at number 8. Because I think that's the better spot. And then Bader, again, he comes out and says he wants to play. Well, he's playing. Start producing. You know what I mean? Because your defense is only going to go so far. And so yeah, I just Bader, you need to start doing something. Because if not, DJ Stewart's going to take your playing time because DJ Stewart looked, is continuing to look like he wants to play. Yeah, we'll sacrifice some defense, but we need that offense. Well, you put DJ in left, put Nimmo in center, and the experiment of having Nimmo in left is over because Bader's not producing. And you bring in Bader in for defense later. But at this point, let's keep rolling DJ Stewart out there, and I let Bader complain. To be honest with you, at this point, because I don't want to hear you talking and then not produce, right? I understand he didn't say anything egregious or extremely horrible, but at the end of the day, you're gonna say anything, start producing, right? And McNeil, again, I think this might be the McNeil that we see, right? He's not the guy that we expect him to be anymore. I think he is going to be that super utility guy. Good defensive coming off the bench, and I think he's that guy. We're just waiting on our guys to get hot in the minor leagues like Acuna, because I think it's time to see Acuna. To be honest with you, at this point, Acuna is the guy that we need to see. We need to see him come up, and sooner rather than later. And Nito, the catcher, he's our catcher for now, and he's been fine. You know what I mean? We can't expect him to be Alvarez, and so obviously he's taken over the starting job from Narvaez, and I see when Alvarez comes back in late June, July, I think that it's Narvaez that's going to go. At that point, the contract's not going to be so overwhelming that Narvaez earns a spot, and I think that it's going to be Nito because at the end of the day, if they're both not going to hit, you'd rather have somebody that can at least throw somebody out, right? So if they're not both going to hit, you want the better defense out there, right? Because Narvaez was signed because of his offense, and if he's not producing offensively, then so be it. It's over, right? So that's the starting lineup. Again, that's my concern. My concern is the lineup. It's not producing. And I don't know what else to say because it's just frustrating. Yeah, it's just frustrating. But let's get to the who's right part of the podcast. Um, you know, Victor picked Alonso. I would say he won that one just because Alonso did have a decent series. It wasn't outstanding, but he had the best I think series from the Mets part for the team. And then we got as the pitchers, we got Diaz and Severino, and I mean Severino pitched well, 2 runs in 5 innings, and Diaz didn't come in, um, but you know, I mean, he came in today, but wasn't a big part of you know the series because how could you come in when we were trailing all series long, right? Until the walk off by Nimmo. Obviously, I would say a push there because it's not like Severino had a great game either. I almost think that Christian Scott had a more impressive outing this series than Severino, and and the and the Mets killer of the series. Um, I picked Darno. Victor picked Acuna, and um, actually one of the bigger killers of the series was actually um, Ozuna. Um, so it's again no points awarded there either. So again, Victor pulls it off with 1 point this series, and so yeah. Again, offense is killing me. Let's preview the next series because it's uh, just very frustrated. So we're playing a home and home with Philadelphia. Um, Play 2 games in city, and then we go down to Philadelphia for 2 games because of this weird setup because of the London series next month. They're doing this home and home thing to even out because technically we'll be playing the home and home in London. Even though they're both games are going to be in London. Um, so so they're doing this home and home this series. So we're doing the 4 games, two and two 4 game series. And tomorrow, Monday, we'll have Manaya versus Chris Sanchez. Chris Sanchez has been pitching well, and so let's see. Hopefully, Manaya can cut down those walks. He did well the last game going, and so hopefully he can keep it going and last a little longer than he did in his previous start. He kind of imploded in the sixth, but but he cut down on his walks, so hopefully he keeps that going. And game two on Tuesday is Budo and Nola. I think that'll be a good game. And on Wednesday, we'll have we're at TBD right now. So Rangers, we'll see Ranger Suarez on Wednesday, and I don't know. I'm assuming that because McGill pitched in Syracuse today, that we weren't going to put him in there. So I'm assuming that's going to be Quintana unless they're throwing somebody else in there down in Philadelphia on Wednesday, and a TBD on Thursday again. But again, because McGill pitched on today today on Sunday for Syracuse, I'm expecting that to be Christian Scott, and seeing McGill maybe come up next Friday for his start on Friday against Miami. So I'm assuming that Wednesday we'll see Quintana versus Ranger Suarez, two lefties out there. Ranger Suarez has been lights out this year. Hopefully he can come back down to earth a little bit and and not pitch ace like he's been pitching. And then on Thursday, again, I believe it's going to be Christian Scott because of McGill pitching today, and against our old friend Taiwan Walker on Thursday down in Philadelphia. So it's going to be a fun series just because of the home and home aspect of it. It's going to be one of those things where we're um, um, you know a crazy set of games because of this home and home action. Because we're going to be having 13 games in 13 days, kind of thing, because of the whole London series. thing travel to London because we're gonna need some off days for the London series. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. We're not going to do the Who's Right part of the podcast because Victor hasn't gotten me his his picks, so I'm not gonna continue. I'm not gonna pick my guys. We're gonna make this short and sweet, but didn't want to not have a video out there for you guys. But some news and notes um, of the podcast. We got news on Senga not being ready. He's not. Sorry about that, guys. He's not. He's waiting until his mechanics are perfect. I guess is what he was saying before he gets started. And so yeah, it's kind of one of those things that he doesn't want to start doing rehab starts until he gets his mechanics right. In a way, I'm all for it because you don't want if his mechanics are off, you don't want him to continue to get hurt. So um, that's one of those things that you want him to be completely healthy, and at this point, it's not like we need him to come in a rush to come pitch for us because our issues are the bats, and he's not going to fix the bats, right? Because he's a pitcher. So take your time, Senga, and we'll see you once you're ready to go. And but that's a weird thing. But I mentioned Megil earlier about coming up. I believe he's coming up. I think we're going to transition into a six-man rotation um, on this week, and we're going to have Megil take over either. I'm assuming on Friday, unless they bring in somebody to pitch on Wednesday. A spot starter down in the minors to pitch on Wednesday if they want to start the six-man rotation earlier than than after Miguel comes up. So I don't think that's going to happen. So I think it's going to be Quintana, Scott, and then Miguel on Friday, and then we're going to start the six-man rotation. But Peterson will be coming up at the end of the month. He's making his way through. A couple promotions in the minors. We had Clifford and Sproat get promoted today from Brooklyn up to Binghamton, and so exciting to see Clifford up in Binghamton, Sproat as well. So get those guys moving forward, and yeah, so I don't want to keep this too long because I want to keep this short and sweet. But before I get out of here, I do want to wish a happy Mother's Day to all women out there. And, happy Mother's Day to my wife. And so, happy Mother's Day to my mom. And all the other mothers that are celebrating today. Because I'm recording on Sunday after the game. Frustrated as all get out, but still recording and making sure that have some content out there for you guys. But again, before we get out of here, obviously not a lot of smiles even after a win, because I am, it was a frustrating series regardless. I knew Atlanta was going to be tough, but the way we looked made me more frustrated. So, you know, let me know how you're feeling. Are you? Am I a little too serious on this one? What do you guys think? How are you guys feeling out there? Give me a little comment. Let me know. Are you frustrated with this offense, or am I overreacting? Let me know. Let me know what you think. And like the video, subscribe to the channel, and until after the Philly series, let's go Mets.